them back, and they go, oh, they don't like it. They're not surviving. They're dying out. Why did we bring them here? Oh, it was closer. Yeah, but look, we've died out now of the...
Sorry, this is not just that also. No, this isn't happening. They're angry about it, like it just happened and you're sick of it. No, this has happened yet.
I'm just looking at how it will happen. Leave them where they were.
But you're getting angry about things that you're speculating on now. It's absurd, Carl. Not once have I read you about your anger about terrorism or international, political injustice. Not once have you written about that. Only about the fact we may send animals back to the Andes.
I know, but just because it just annoyed me, that's all. They brought them here, some fella's getting a load of praise because they brought this weird animal into the country, and yet it's like, well, they were on the Andes for a reason. Leave them there. It was happier there. I feel guilty when I open it. That come from?
What bag are you opening with bat flies? What bag?
No, just when, the bag I took the computer home in. A fly flew out of it, and I thought, when did that get in that bag? Whoever brought that from? And it's the same thing. It doesn't want to be somewhere else. It was where it was. And that's the same with this Polaco, or whatever.
Great news! Get $25 cash back for the purchase you just made. Sign up now.
Amazing! It really is the ramblings of a madman, isn't it?
Some new sea thing has been found.
That's the headlines on the news.
It wasn't found by sea experts. It was found on eBay. Someone was selling it for $5. I don't see the point in buying something that you don't know what it is.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It was.
Someone's found some sort of shell with a thing living in it.
Right.
They thought, I've never seen one of these before, I can flog it on eBay. Someone bought it and then wanted to look after it, went to some sea expert, and they said, I don't know what that is. That's the story. It's just weird
now you can get up to $25 cash back on any buy.com purchase.
Yeah, but that's where the specialist people sort of picked up on it. It's just weird that... all I was saying is I wouldn't want one. If you don't know how to... If it's a new creature, you don't know what makes it happy. When you get a kitten, you go, stroke its head. It loves it. Right? And you can do that knowing that it's liking it. If I had a little seashell, and you go, does it sit in water? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You could end up doing more damage. So that's why I wouldn't want it. It's nice to have rules, isn't it? It's nice to know what you're doing with something.
Well, as you write in the diary, it's like if an alien landed and wanted to live with you. As much fun as it might sound, it wouldn't be long before you got annoyed with it because it wouldn't eat the food you gave it.
That's what I'm saying, but I couldn't have a go at it because it might not like pasta.
It might not.
Everyone likes pasta.
Wow. That's it for another week. I hope you've enjoyed this half hour of drivel. I mean, some of the most stupid things ever said. I mean, it's like he's got a contempt now for the world. Like, he doesn't care what comes out of his head.
Learning can be frustrating, can't it? You maybe I'm getting you thinking. Maybe on your way home today you'll be going, octopus with two heads. And if you do that for 5 seconds, I've done my job.
Good to have a job in it. So, from me, Ricky Gervais, goodbye. From Steve Merchant,
goodbye.
And from Carl Pilkington.
Right.
This is Audible.
Hello and welcome to number 4 in the series of 6, season 3 of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, hello, and Carl Pilkington.
Alright.
First of all, I'm sorry to do this, but me and Steve have got to bring something up that's been bugging us for a couple of weeks now, but it's reached. You are so fucking lazy, Carl, at the moment. You have time off. Right, you go away every weekend, so me and Steve are so precious with so many things to do, with extras and books coming out and stuff. I've never seen anyone whinge about going in with kidney stones. I know loads of people that have kidney stones.
Not like
They've had
that.
no, you say not like that because they've had the operation. I know people that had their appendix out, right, an actual under the knife operation, and he was back at work the next day and he had a bit of a sore side. But you have whinged now for weeks and weeks, everything you say, oh, I've had this, oh, I've got to go in again, but you're still well enough to go away every weekend to see your folks or your in-laws,
this is the
or
problem,
a holiday, and it's just like we are so in that, sometimes you've got to pull together, mate.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you say keep a diary, and you said make sure you do a diary for a year.
Yeah.
If I didn't go and visit people and travel the world, what would I do in it?
Carl, I read your diary every week. All you seem to do is spend time in a cafe, having a cup of tea and a bit of breakfast.
That's the
Who
weekend, that's
are
when
you
people do
constantly
stuff.
visiting?
Anyway, let's not argue.
You don't even
People
like
know
your
why we're
family, I
arguing.
thought.
It's not my family, is it?
Well, you
Suzanne's
don't,
family.
you don't
But
like
you
anyone.
work.
Why are you visiting?
But you say I'm working that weekend. I'm working that weekend. We have to put. Let's put this in first. It's a busy time.
Family's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't keep messing people
But this is all you have to do.
What else are you
loads of
doing?
doing.
What other job have you got?
Loads of stuff. I don't want to go into what I'm doing, but I've got loads
But
of
all
stuff.
I hear is you're
Well,
always having meetings.
I
You're
know,
always
yeah.
going for meetings.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
I don't know what that
yeah,
means.
yeah,
Meetings.
yeah.
Right, anyway.
Meeting in a bloody cafe.
Yeah.
Right,
So, no, seriously though. So you've been on your travels. You've got lots to talk about. So
Yeah, I've got to go in hospital again as well, haven't I? So,
What's your current state with your old?
I don't want to go on about it.
Well, no, I mean you brought it up.
you're fine. You're well enough to go away. You're well enough to go on holiday. You're well enough to visit people. You went on a train. You went to Manchester. You must be well enough. So you're well enough to do this.
I went back to Bristol at the weekend. I had a bit of time off, as you know, because Carl couldn't do the work.
I know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So we all had a nice time.
No, I didn't. I went to Bristol when I was working.
That's all right. But
Well, exactly.
he's still visiting a place, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's a ridiculous thing to say. That's like saying a pilot doesn't work because he's visiting a place.
No, because he doesn't visit it. He
No,
doesn't
you
get out
sit
of the
down
plane.
on your arse. Sometimes you hire a car, so you can't be reading or studying. You're driving for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I went there working. We went to America. We were working. I went to Bristol. I was working.
Oh, shut up.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
Getting a bit uppity.
The truth hurts, Stephen.
The truth does hurt, and it's interesting that
Yeah.
he suddenly snapped at you there.
I know.
Because I wondered to myself, if it weren't for you, Mr. Ricky Gervais, what would this man, this little round-headed man, be doing right now?
Fuck all, Stephen. Fuck all.
Yeah, I went back to Bristol at the weekend. As we know, we all had a bit of time off, and actually, I was quite annoyed because I passed the pub near where my parents live, and they had a band on. You know, pubs sometimes have a band on. And the name of the band, I'm disappointed that I missed them. The name of the band, Rick, was Loose Change. But what I like about Loose Change is it's the least evocative name for a band, isn't it? It's not
amazing.
sexy, it's nothing. It's got no kind of mood or feel to it at all. Loose Change. It's just,
Welcome. Rough outline.
yeah.
It's just nothing.
The checkbook stubs.
Pocket fluff.
yeah. But while I was at my parents' house, they often, they keep clippings of things. You know, if we've been mentioned in the papers, they like to keep a record of them and stuff because I like to show it to my grandparents. You know, and I managed to find a couple of them. This was what I don't know if you've heard this, Carl. It's, for people who don't realise, Carl was making a couple of little 3-minute TV projects recently that were on Channel 4, and in the Sunday Times, someone's written a letter about Carl to the Sunday Times.
Wow.
They can send in comments and views on things they've seen, read, heard.
Oh, excellent.
And this is what someone wrote to the Sunday Times. Who is Carl Pilkington, and why have I just wasted 5 minutes of my life listening to some of his cretinous thoughts on Channel 4? He asked, why are there so many dinosaurs on display in museums? Quotes, couldn't they just choose the best one and just show that? He summed it all up by deciding that we know too much. Somebody clearly doesn't know enough to know that this is a complete waste of airtime, showing no wit, intellect or creativity. That's from Wendy Robinson in Berkshire.
You can't have your critics. You know what I mean?
You've got to have your critics.
Of course you have. If everybody liked what you did, then you're not doing the right thing.
She wasted 5 minutes, and they were 3-minute wonders, so it must have felt
Yeah.
2/3 as long again.
But think how angry she must have been to have bothered writing this letter to the Sunday Times.
Well, that's good.
I mean,
though.
you
It's made her
really
do
must
something.
have-
It's all about getting people thinking. That's what I always say to you. As long as I'm getting people thinking about what I've said, she remembered what I said.
But what views did you put out in these short films which you feel people perhaps should be talking about, discussing, digesting, thinking about?
Just stuff that was in my head that day when I was filming them.
Yeah.
Is it in your head now?
Some of it is. Now you've remembered me what I said.
Now you what?
Now you've sort of told me what I said in that one. Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah.
And I stick by it.
Remember him some other stuff?
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, right? This, if I don't know if Wendy's, listen to this. But,
Almost certainly not.
But listen, right? I was saying about the museums, right, and how they're big and everything, and they've got dinosaurs all over the shop. I read that in that museum, they've got something like 7 million bits of stuff in there. Right? Now, when I spend 2 hours in somewhere, just show me the good stuff. Don't be saying we've got 7 million bits. Because there was a fella who opened it. Right, I did a bit of research on the museum. Fella who opened the museum up.
What was his name?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, does it?
What museum was it?
It was the London one.
Oh, the London one, yeah. Okay.
So he's in there and he's collecting all this, bits of stuff.
What stuff?
Just whatever's knocking about at that time.
Right, okay.
It seemed like
you have researched it.
He never chucked anything away. He's like, I won't put it in the bin. Pop it on the shelf.
Okay,
so
yeah.
he's put everything on a shelf in the museum. Then as time
I
went
think you're
on,
going into too much detail, but just give us the gist of it.
No, but all I'm saying is, he keeps everything, and if you keep everything, sometimes it'll be good stuff, right? And a lot of the stuff was going missing, the good stuff. But people who set these museums up are just as crafty.
What?
The fella who found Tutankhamun, he was pocketing all sorts of fingers and stuff in his pockets on the way out. That had rings on them and stuff. So all I'm saying is, why is she having a go?
But hang on, wait, what's that got to do with someone pocket? I don't understand your point.
Because she's sort of moaning at me, going, "Don't have a go at the museum and the dinosaurs." But
No,
she's having a go at your fatuous point.
Yeah, you're absolutely uneducated,
But,
stupid point. You got TV time to talk absolute shit. If I could
That's not
paraphrase
my fault,
Wendy.
is it? That's not my fault. If someone says they want me to do a little programme and you can do what I want, I went and did what I did. Free speech, innit?
But we just gave you the chance then to defend yourself, and you just confirmed Wendy's point 1,000 times over. What was all this waffle about people nicking stuff? What's that got to do with anything?
Because she's having a go at me. I didn't nick
But she's
anything.
having a go at you for talking nonsense that's of no consequence, which is what you just did
That's
there.
all nonsense.
But what was your point?
Oh, alright then, we'll watch Wendy's little programme when that goes out. Let's see what she's got to talk about. Sick of her.
So anyway, as I say, my mother saves various clippings and things which may be of interest. This was recently in the Daily Mail, in one of those kind of gossip columns. Ricky Gervais's cringe-worthy dance routine as managerial buffoon David Brent was undoubtedly the highlight of BBC comedy The Office. Perhaps credit for the scene should not go to Gervais, however, but his lanky co-writer Stephen Merchant. For I hear that 6'7" Merchant has been attracting a great deal of female attention at the so-and-so pub in North London, until he took to the dance floor with Brent-esque results. Says my mole, most of the feminine throng looked away in embarrassment. Putting it kindly, he was rather ungainly, like a giant albatross hopping on stilts. Right, now then, I'll take issue with this, because firstly...
You wouldn't be attracting female attention in the first place.
Rick, if I had been, I'd have phoned the Mail myself. Point A... Right, I seem to remember distinctly I was talking to one of my mates the whole night and we were discussing about the fact we were too shy to talk to girls. So wrong there.
Yeah.
Point two, as you well know, if I take to the dance floor, which on this occasion I didn't, I remember distinctly not because I love to dance, I would not have been described as a giant albatross hopping on stilts because Carl has seen me dance, you've seen me dance, you know I'm a good mover.
Yeah.
Just in the same way that people can't quite understand how Peter Crouch, the same height as me, is able to be so brilliant on the football field.
Yeah.
The same, people look at me when I'm dancing, they go, I don't know how that big guy is able to bust some of those kind of moves. I've won 2 dance contests in my life. Those facts, those stats speak for themselves, Rick.
I know.
I mean, you've seen me dancing, how would you describe me?
I think that you look like a... Isn't an albatross, isn't it? So you look like an upright lizard, right, being given electroshock treatment. And I think that's a lot fairer, isn't it, than the albatross nonsense?
Well, so I'm just trying to picture that, because again, I was that a compliment? You were on my side, right? You were defending me.
A cross between a giant lizard and a stick insect.
Again, because they don't sound... straight away, they don't sound like compliments, but I'm assuming you're on my side here.
A stick insect with funny glasses? Is that...
Again, I thought, I was thinking you were perhaps being a touch more supportive, but you've not really... Carl, you've seen me dance, what are your views?
It's just like a bit of weird art.
That's brilliant! That is brilliant! That's so much better than albatross!
I wouldn't have said an albatross. I was looking at what they mean by that, because they're dying out. They say, you know, they dive in the sea.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah. Something happened in the brain. It went from the point we were making via an albatross, then it just shut off. It just ding like a pinball.
Well, let's hear, because it's going to be another good point.
No, it's just saying how, because I've never seen one, and they were saying, how would you feel if you never saw one again? And I was like, you know, I've got by this long without it. It's not bothered me. But it was just sort of saying, what they do is they dive in the sea, sort of put their head under the water, see if there's any fish knocking about, grab one, get out again, right?
Yeah.
Go to land. I don't know if they're designed to do that.
Well, obviously they are.
No, because seagulls are, because you see them floating about. Now, what's happening is, they're doing that, but getting caught in nets.
Well, that's it. The net shouldn't be there. That's the point. They're totally adapted to their environment, but we came along millions and millions of years afterwards and stitched them up. It's not like people are going, well, the nets were always there. How did they evolve without getting caught in the net? We invented the net. We've only been knocking around for a few 100,000 years.
But what I'm saying is, it's that thing about animals learn by mistakes by other animals. You know, like the monkeys peeling potatoes.
Right. That's never happened. They go and put nuts in the salt water to salt the nut.
Whatever.
How does that get to peeling potatoes? Because in your head, they were working in a canteen.
Making chips.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It doesn't matter what the food is. I'm just saying how they know how to sort of prepare
I
that
love
food.
the fact that you don't care what the fact is. When you're discussing facts, that's all that matters. Otherwise, on Mastermind, they just go, who wrote Much Ado About Nothing? Dickens? Yeah, close enough, whatever, someone did. The fact is what matters.
Yeah, but with that question, that's got a straightforward answer. What I'm telling you is the way that animals work. If it's a potato or a nut, it's a foodage.
And once again, I return you to my question as before. What's your point? What point were you making?
I'm just saying an albatross will find food. If you're hungry, you find food or you change your diet. If you don't eat something else, you die out. Simple. Said before. If you want a pie, but they haven't got any pies, you have a pasty. Alter your diet. And an albatross...
Drastically.
Yeah, pie radical.
Yeah, exactly. Completely changing my diet. No more pies. What are you eating? Pasty. Brilliant. I'm not going to eat quiche anymore. I'm going to have a tartlet.
But you're getting more and more sort of single-minded in your...
No, single-celled.
Yeah.
It's not, though.
In your belief that everything you say has got some kind of profound implication and that no one else is listening, that we're all ignorant, we're all not listening to what you're saying.
Here's another one.
Go on.
Something else I discussed.
Oh, come on. This will be good.
In series
This will be as good as E equals MC squared.
The people aging backwards idea.
Well, it's not an idea.
They've done something on it, saying how
No, they haven't.
a baby has been messing about with emails. Right?
Oh,
yeah,
God!
A 65-year-old doesn't know how to use email. So, again, my system works. So say if you're an old person, you're not using the internet, but you shouldn't be anyway. Because you should be sort of just getting used to life as an old person. When you're a baby and you're about to die, they're using the internet.
I don't know what you mean, when you're a baby and you're about to die.
This is if
This
this
is the
was
aging
your world.
backwards
If it
idea,
was
yeah.
your world. Well, let me just ask a couple of questions.
That makes no sense at all. What you just that makes no sense
I'm just saying
at all.
that my theory...
You may as well have hit a wok
What I'm
to
saying-
express that point, because they're...
The pong, that would have made more sense.
this
It would
is
have been
why-
more profound.
This is why
more resonant.
This is why Wendy's having a go, though, because you're not being open-minded. You're not thinking about.
But we're being open-minded to good ideas, to sensible thought, to intellectual considerations. We're not being open-minded to this utter drivel.
Yeah, but every invention is a bit. Who'd have thought the frisbee would have caught on?
That's not... I don't think that can count as an invention,
Of
though.
course it is. People are paying for it. Someone said, "I'm going to invent something."
But
you can
people
chuck
are paying
about."
for carrots. but they're not an invention. Because you pay for something, it doesn't mean it's an invention.
No, but a man-made thing, a frisbee, it didn't grow off a tree, did it? Someone's made that and gone, I can sell this. And people are buying it. You know, all I'm saying is, things change, don't they? You know, the albatross is dying out. The way, like when I walked into the flat, right, we've had hot weather, haven't we? We've had a lot of flies knocking about. Now, when I was younger, I never saw flies sort of hanging about in gangs. Whereas
I don't know what world this is. Would they have little motorbikes?
no, you know, just you'd sort of see one would get in the house, you know, my dad would kill it.